Oh, gosh. Okay. Pretty sure that's tilted. Rolling with it. Hi. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mildly Gothic. If you're new here, what I like to do is a variety of artsy things, and today is unfortunately not what I wanted it to be. So, I have gotten some work done. There's just a lot going on in my life right now. I'm working on an online master's program. It's just been kind of crazy this week. And so this is not a very big update. And along with that, there's kind of the realization of, I don't know that I'm going to get this done before the movie premiere. I really, really want to. I'm just really not sure how realistic of a possibility that is anymore. So this update is absolutely going to be shorter than the massive update I posted last time. And I hope that's okay. I'm really sorry that this isn't quite as an extensive update. I really do want to keep working on this, and I have been, but unfortunately I do have other priorities in my life, and so while he is wonderful, he's not quite the priority. So there may be some things, we're working on the painting. You'll see a lot of that on the other guy. I'm not sure how much content I'm going to be able to include in this. I am recording this intro much earlier than I usually do so that I can try to get part of this structured and uploaded and get all of the pieces together and maybe keep working on bits of this until the end of basically whenever my editing software decides I can't upload anything because it'll take too long. But I'm really in love with this project. It's been coming along incredibly. I've received so much positive support in the comments. Those have been really fun to read. I do always try to read, engage, and interact with any comments I receive on my videos because I think it's really fun that someone decided to take the time not only to watch it, but to say something. So if you'd like to leave any sorts of comments, just know I will probably do my best to interact and respond to you. But that is where we stand. I just haven't had quite the time to do a lot on this. This is a long and rambly intro for a video that may not have that much in it, and I'm so sorry for that, but if you stick around until the end, thank you so much for watching. Seriously, the support and just, engagement that these get, even if it's just a little, is so incredibly awesome. It kind of motivates me to keep doing things, doing something, working on these projects. I don't think I ever would have done any sort of project like this if it wasn't for this YouTube channel in the first place. Even when I wasn't getting views, I was pushing myself to try new things just for the heck of it. So here's your little inspiration. Do cool things just because you can. And I'll show you where I got to on this project.
So I made the color for the inside of the mouth by taking the lightest pink that I have and mixing it with some of that crimson red to get a very pinky-ish tone. Added some white, honestly, just because it was there on the palette already. Great reason to add a color in, I know. And just mix it up until it was really consistent. I already knew it was going to be a very light pink, and as you can see, it's not like it was that different than the pink I started with. Part of the reason to add paint to that base pink is, again, those tube colors, those big bottles I have are really, really light. They don't have that much pigment. So by adding that red and then a white, I was helping add some opacity and more pigment to the paint, so it was going to be much stronger. I used a big flat brush to get the entire inside of the mouth, and then tried to be really, really careful and precise with a more kind of dome-tipped brush. So it had a point and then kind of splayed outwards, I guess, so it's a cylinder with a pointy tip. To be very careful and get around all of the weird curves and crevices of the teeth. And this was just a base coat. You'll see a lot more of the detail I have later, but basically this was just to get color everywhere the gums needed to be, and I wasn't too concerned about getting it on the teeth because I can always just paint those white again later. So, pretty straightforward process, painting the entire thing, essentially a bubblegum pink.
The inside of the mouth is painted, and, okay, it does show up on camera. It's bubblegum pink. It is the most obnoxious shade of bubblegum pink, which, should I probably have realized when I was painting it? Yeah. Did I? No. So we're here. The color scheme I think I'm going to adopt. Yeah, I know a lot of the teeth are bendy. They're just going to kind of do that because they are foam. But the color scheme I think I'm going to adopt from here is I'm going to make the center of the mouth darker, and I'm going to keep the edges of the gums lighter because that is kind of how it seems to be. I don't know, that just makes sense to me. But then I'm also going to add a thick line of red paint all the way around the outside. And the reason for that, I'm going to do that on the inside and outside mouth. You can see it very clearly on the inside mouth, but I'm going to do it on the outside one because I want to, which will hopefully break this up a little bit. I may lighten this up, but I think I'm going to darken the center of the mouth and see how that goes before I decide to lighten this up. So I'm going to go lean into more of, more bubblegum, I guess, more of the magenta and more of the true red with the crimson red, and try to get something close to some of the colors that are on the ombre of the inner head for the inside of this mouth. Because he's not going to be bubblegum pink. I'm not vibing with that too much. So we're going to see what I can do. This is not the color I thought it was going to be. Should I have known? Yes, absolutely. I was just doing it at night in bad lighting, meaning colors look different. Know that, kids. Colors look different. Do I think it looks bad? No. He's a cartoon character, essentially. Claymation, honestly, similar difference as far as aesthetics. He's just supposed to be bold, bright, and weird looking. We got that down, but I think it's a little too bright and a little too weird looking, so we're gonna fix that and just try to darken up the center of the mouth and go from there. We've got the teeth painted. So this actually shows up better on camera than it does in person. So we've just done kind of a gradient from the bottom. This is only using the color burnt sienna and a white. So my very mangled tube. However, this is the color nope, I lied. This is yellow ochre. Burnt sienna is the darker one I decided not to use. This is yellow ochre at the bottom mixed with white and then some water to get me that gradient, as my camera doesn't really want to focus. You can see I've put in some shading along the bottom of that gum line to kind of make those teeth stand out. Here, maybe I'll point with a paintbrush. Yeah, so I tried to make those little bumps stand out, kind of like human gums stand out, and I think that's a really fun detail. This side you can see kind of has it, doesn't really have it as much, so this one is more finished than this side is. Now that I have the teeth painted, I'm really happy with how those teeth came out. I do think I'm still trying to take the inside of the mouth down a little bit as far as a red tone. And then I will be doing the red outline all the way around the lip, and the inside painting will be done. We are so close. All right, so what I've added is I used a very wet paintbrush and some very diluted down red paint right there. It is in that same crimson red shade I've been using. And I used a very diluted paintbrush with a lot of water to kind of get this like effect so it would seep into the bottom there, because when I painted the yellow on the teeth, there was still a white rim kind of at the bottom, and so I wanted to fill that in. And so I took this brush and I went all the way down and I intentionally let it drip so you get kind of that scallop pattern, and I think it highlights a lot of the shape of the gums. I think they look really gnarly and kind of like real gums. There's a little bit of blending I need to do there. I have done this on, this is the bottom. I have done it on the top as well. I think it looks really good. And so the last thing is that line of red around the inside of the lip. And I think I might be done painting the inside of one of two of the heads.
So I think I picked actually the most chaotic way possible to paint the little gum, the extra gum line strips that go in his mouth, because I decided to do it with my fingers. I probably could have taped them down and then painted them all like that, or taped them down and spray painted them even. But no, I decided to take the crimson red and smear it all along them with my fingers, because why not? I don't know. I went over all of them first with that much more pigmented acrylic crimson red. This did end up needing multiple coats. I went back over it with a different red that I have that made it a little less pink. It made it a little bit more of that true like bright red, which I think the color worked great. I did need to make sure that I got the edges of this because it will be fully visible, so I needed the edges to be red, not white. But yeah, I just spent an evening getting red paint literally everywhere, and then let them dry so that I could glue them on later. So were there better ways to do this? Oh, 100%. Did I think of or do any of them at the time? No, I did not. The painting for the inside head went just about the same as the outside one. I mixed up a similar-ish bubblegum pink color. The only thing to note is this was an absolute nightmare to attempt. I ended up using a lot smaller brushes and didn't film much of it because you can't see literally anything because of the angles and the inside of this mouth. Should I probably have painted it beforehand? Maybe. Did I think about it? No. Did it still work? Yes. And that's the important thing. So, anyways, it got painted. It was annoying, but it worked. So here's what we got after a first attempt at getting to painting the inside of the mouth. And it's not bad, but if the color shows, there's the one guy, here's the other guy. This is a much softer bubblegum pink. So I think I'm going to start doing the gum detailing that I kind of did on that one and see how it goes. And probably try to darken the center of the mouth a little bit. I just don't know how much of this like detailing I'm going to be able to get, or how much you're honestly going to be able to see, because it doesn't really want to focus in there. But I don't know how much you're going to be able to see of it from far away. So I want it to look like something more than it is right now. So I guess we are working on figuring out what that means. In new news of everything's decided to go wrong, my phone mount is completely broken, and so I don't know how well recording a lot of this next bit's gonna go. But as you can see, I have the yellow coloration on all of the teeth for the lower head, and I've got spots going as well. It's hard to see sometimes if you actually have spots underside his head, but I think it makes a really nice kind of balance between the top and the bottom. The gums ended up working out better than I expected because of how I watered the paint down, and so it's really hard to show. But it was able to get into, you're not going to focus on this whatsoever. You can kind of see it if you look over where my finger's wiggling. It got into the gum lines actually better than I expected, super similar to how it did over there. And so I didn't actually have to do too much work to get the gums to be noticed. And so something you can sort of see with how he's laying, we've got that little red strip in there. The next one is drying right there. Needs like, the edge has got to get painted, and then I'll be able to attach it to this guy. And then I'll finally be able to move on to the fabric. And the reason I've waited on the fabric is because I didn't want there to be paint like out and stuff while I'm working on the fabric. So I've been trying to get the heads done as much as possible. There's two things I may be able to do though, and that is attach white fabric to the back of this, because I'm just going to make a sleeve coming out the top of the head that will allow, this to look like a continuous head back. And then I'm debating if I want to put anything connecting from the inside of the mouth in. I think I'm going to put the fabric on the inner head before I kind of see how that looks like, but I can still put Velcro, which I've been meaning to do for ages. I think I'm going to glue the Velcro down, to that cuff piece right there, so that way I can actually wear it and test it, because once I can wear it and once this thing has a sleeve, then I can actually start sewing all of the segments together that make the body of the sandworm, and I should end up making a lot of progress super quickly, or at least that's the hope. This video is the epitome of stellar camera quality. So as you can see, I've got the Velcro gluing on right there. Whenever you are doing Velcro for a cosplay, just something to note, you always want the pointy side away from your skin. In case the Velcro happens to overlap or anything, it's going to be the most comfortable. So this is going to be obviously the part away from my skin, and so that's the soft one. I should learn how to point with things by now. So that's the soft one, and so obviously it'll attach right there. So one comment I'm having with this is whether I should attach fabric to the inside of the head like I did for the other head, like the black fabric to hide the hand. I'm not sure how necessary it's going to be, considering there is the white fabric. No, I'll probably need something. It'll just kind of be like a weird little cuff thing that attaches all the way around the inside of the mouth as like little black fabric to drape inside, because then there'll be the white fabric from the inside of the mouth. But the Velcro is gluing on, and literally as soon as this is done, I can start the fabric. I do believe this will be the last update I can include in this video, but I have the red lip on the top and bottom of this guy. All of the teeth are painted. I think he looks so freaking good. So as I said before, I'm going to attach white fabric to the end to kind of make a tunnel so that it'll go back into the cavity of the large head, as I almost knocked that over off screen. It'll go back into the cavity and basically look like the skin or the rest of this sandworm. The lip color got a little all over the place when I was painting it. That's fine. I do also think because of just the situation and messing around with it so much, I do think I'm going to end up doing one more coat of paint on the lips. Luckily, I took a video on how I mixed it, so I might actually end up using that as a reference so that I can get the color to match. But I am just at the step where I am about to go onto fabric, so you can
bet your bottom dollar that I will be making incredible progress as soon as I can whip out my sewing machine, because this is the only table I have for crafting, as I knock him over. So when I'm doing all of this stuff with foam, I'm not able to have my sewing machine out as well, which is why I've been so heavily focused on the foam, because once I get all of this done, I can set it to the side and I can just focus on sewing. So I'm really excited that I think all of the tiny foam and painting details are done, because now I can get onto the fabric. But unfortunately, that is all going to be in the next video. So if you like where this project is going, then absolutely please hit the subscribe button so my videos will show up in your feed and you can be notified when the next one comes out. If you like this video in particular, hit the like button. Tell YouTube you might want to come visit my corner of the internet again. It's very fun here. This is absolutely one of my favorite projects I've ever done, including my Philippa Georgiou cosplay. I mean, the crown on that one is arguably still really, really cool. I don't know. We'll say they're tied. But this is one of my favorite freaking projects. I think it's going to come out so cool. Thank you so much for your patience. I know this video is a lot shorter than my other ones have been, but sometimes that just happens. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.